Hello everyone and welcome to today's Dynamics 365 Tech Talk e-commerce module library overview. My name is Evan and I'll be your moderator today. We are broadcasting this web conference through Teams live events and the audio can be heard through your device speakers. Today's web conference is being recorded on behalf of the Microsoft Corporation, and by participating in the session using Microsoft Teams, your name, email address, phone number, and/or title may be viewable by other session participants. If you do not consent to being a part of a recorded session, please disconnect at this time. The recording will be available on the Tech Talks Community Dynamics page within 5 business days. If you have questions for the presenters or need support, please use the Q&A panel located on the right side of your screen. Our presenters will be responding to your questions throughout the event. Thank you for your patience during these announcements. Now let's get started. Presenting for us today from Microsoft, we have Anupama Raju, Principal Program Manager. Anupama, over to you.
Thank you, Evan, for the introduction. So today, as Evan mentioned, I'm going to be giving an overview on the e-commerce module library. And to introduce myself again, I'm Anupama Raju, and I'm a Principal Program Manager in Dynamics 365 Commerce. So the agenda for today is going to be, I'm going to give you an introduction on 2 modules, and then we're going to talk about how to configure a module on a page, on an e-commerce page. And then we're going to have a quick demo, and then come back and talk more about the module library and the types of modules that are available for use. So let's start with an introduction. So in order to understand the big picture, I'm going to start with the commerce architecture. So let's have a high-level overview of commerce architecture and see how and where module library fits into this equation. So commerce architecture, I think many of you are familiar. We have headquarters, which is where all the products, pricing, discounts, inventory, etc. are configured. So this is this one place where all your information for your channels are getting powered from. And then you have the commerce runtime, which is basically the commerce engine and the API engine. And this is the one place where it serves as your central point of integration for all your business, for all the business logic across commerce. And it powers up all the channels from POS to e-commerce. On the e-commerce side, we have Site Builder. Now, Site Builder is where we create your e-commerce pages, and we will be talking about Site Builder, and I'll be showing you a demo on Site Builder as well. And then we have the content management system. This is where all the assets used in your e-commerce site will be stored, along with the pages and templates that we've created for your site. Now, CMS is basically an Azure blob storage where all this information is getting stored and retrieved. And then we have the most interesting piece, the web storefront. This is the customer-facing e-commerce website rendering engine. Now, this is the piece of the piece that we're going to be focusing for the rest of this discussion. So as I mentioned, web storefront, it's the customer-facing website rendering system. It's the actual rendering engine that powers your e-commerce site, your pages. And it includes a module library, which is a collection of modules that provide a rich set of out-of-box capabilities. As an example, a promotion banner can be used to show some promotion on the home page. Cart displays the cart line items in your shopping bag. Video player is used to render a video on a home page or any other page. So these are examples of modules, and we'll be discussing more modules through the rest of this discussion. And here is an example of Fabricam homepage. Fabricam is an e-commerce, is a demo environment that we have to showcase our e-commerce capabilities. Now, if you look at the homepage top down, you can see it's a collection of multiple modules. We have the cookie compliance module, followed by promo banner. We have a header, navigation menu, content block in a carousel, text block, etc. So really, you want to think of modules as building blocks of a page. And modules are built on React framework, and it uses a combination of server-side and client-side rendering to deliver responsive web experiences. Every module in the module library has a specific intent. In other words, it has some predefined business logic that it ships with. This intent could be something as simple as render an image, or it could be something like render product information. And it depends and varies depending on the module that you want to use on your page. So in addition to an intent, modules also have an appearance. They appear a certain way when you add them to your e-commerce page. And this appearance comes from what we call as theme. So in the previous example, the Fabricam demo site that I showed you, the theme that we have enabled there is the Fabricam theme. So the Fabricam theme automatically gives a certain look and feel to all the modules that are part of that theme. And I also want to call out that modules are highly customizable and they deliver a scalable solution for online businesses. Now, there is a separate session around commerce extensibility. I highly recommend that session. There'll be a lot more discussion around how modules can be extended and how you can achieve some of your customizations. So now that we have a basic understanding of what is a module, in the next section, we're going to talk about how do you actually configure a module on a page. Now, to begin with, I want to start off from, this is a home page configuration on Site Builder. And I want to talk about a few important things because I'm going to be using this terminology throughout the rest of this discussion. So here is our home page on Site Builder, and then the leftmost pane is your page outline. And your page outline kind of shows all the modules that are configured in this page, like your entire tree view is accessible from the page outline. Then right in the middle, we have the WYSIWYG canvas. Now, the canvas is where you can preview your content as you're adding modules or adding content in your modules. You can also add modules directly from your WYSIWYG canvas. And then the other interesting piece is the property panel. The property panel allows you to add, remove, to configure data or to configure properties. And we're going to be talking a lot more about how to do that in the next few slides. So modules can be, so where do modules get data from? Modules can be configured with data within the Site Builder property panel. So an example is on the homepage content block. You can configure it with a heading, a paragraph, an image, a link. All of the data can be configured for this module within Site Builder. But there are also modules that can be data driven by data actions. A data action is basically a JavaScript function that fetches and maps data using the Commerce API engine. And an example is the buy box on the product details page where it shows product information. And all it's doing is calling into the data action, which then calls into the Commerce API engine to retrieve the product information. A little quick sidebar on data actions. So data actions, I mentioned call into your Commerce API engine, but they also offer improved performance. They have a bunch of additional capabilities that allow them to do that. One is they enable state sharing scenarios. They minimize the number of external requests that your application requires. They provide automatic deduplication, so making sure that multiple data action calls aren't duplicated. So it's definitely more performant when you're going through your data action calls. And out of box, we have a core set of data actions that are provided. But again, just like any other piece in commerce, your data actions are also highly customizable. Coming back to modules, so module properties, we talked about the property panel when we talked about how data can be configured in the property panel. In addition to data, modules can also have certain properties that can be configured in the module property panel. These properties allow a site author to opt into features. An example here is on the image gallery module. We have image zoom where you can say, hey, I want inline zoom or I want container zoom. You can define the zoom factor. You can say I want 2x zoom, 3x zoom, 10x zoom, full screen, etc. So every module ships with a collection of properties. I recommend you refer to the module documentation to learn more about what properties are available. Another quick tip that I also wanted to call out is if a module is being reused across multiple pages and it's going to be reused with the same set of properties, it's recommended to build it out as a page fragment. And I will talk more about page fragments when we're doing the demo. And then another piece around modules is the site settings extensions. So when you go to Site Builder and you go under Site Settings extensions, you will see a variety of properties that are available here. So these are additional configurations that your modules can use. And the way they are different from a module property is that site settings determine a workflow for the entire site. For example, inventory settings. Inventory settings shown here, they allow you to turn on inventory check for your e-commerce site. They tell you like, hey, what value should I use for inventory check? Should I use total available or available physical? What ranges of inventory should I display? Should I display in stock, out of stock, low stock, all ranges, or only show out of stock? So all these different configurations can be configured in one place and can be leveraged across your entire site. And typically, if there is something is defined as an inventory setting, it's going to be leveraged across multiple modules. For example, inventory management settings will be used by your buy box, cart, checkout, wish list, and other modules. The site settings are defined in app settings.json. And another quick tip with app settings.json, when you're updating to the latest module library package, you must also make sure that you merge the app settings.json file for the respective release, so you get the latest settings as you update to your new releases. So with that, I'm going to quickly break for a demo and kind of walk you through some topics that we just discussed. So this is my Fabricam product details page. And you can see the product details page has a header, has a breadcrumb, kind of helps you navigate back to the product category. It has a media gallery. It has the buy box, which shows the product information. You can choose your dimensions, add to bag. And it also has the store picker module, also called the store selector. And it has product specifications and some recommendations through related products and the reviews module. Now let's see how this page is actually configured in Site Builder. So this is your Site Builder for my Fabricam site. And some basics about building a page or any page on Site Builder. All pages begin with a template. So your template is a definition that tells you here are the allowed set of modules on any page that is inherited from this template. So you have to first start with a template. So in the case of product details, we have a product details template. And let's see what is actually defined in this template. So in the product details template, I'll walk you through the entire structure. So there is a HTML head. The head is typically used for any HTML modules, HTML head modules such as page summary, metadata, page summary modules, which are used for SEO optimization. We have common meta tags, which are like modules that are used for outputting any HTML on your page. There are script injection modules that are available. So there is some restricted set of modules that you can use on your HTML head that is available as part of the module library. Then there is a body begin and there is a body end. Again, the body begin and body end only allows certain set of modules. We allow this, the script injection modules on these two slots of the page. And at any time, if you want to see what is allowed, you can just say edit and then you can do an add module and then it shows you a module picker where you can quickly get an overview of what is available in each of these slots. Now, the actual section of the page that is visible on your e-commerce site is within the body. And this is where you can actually see the page appears. And then the page itself has multiple slots. It has a header, subheader, main slot, subfooter, and footer slot. Now, you don't have to configure all the slots, but typically we configure the header in the header slot, the page header. And then on the main slot is where all the main content of the page goes in. And then the footer slot is where you can add your page footer. Now you can certainly use the subheader for maybe showcasing a promotion banner, or you can use any other module. But in this example, we've used the header slot, main slot, and the footer slot. Now let's examine the main slot. So you can see that there are multiple containers that are defined within this main slot. There's a buy box container, there is a product specification container, and later in the discussion, I will explain containers and why we want to use containers. But for now, there is a container, and within that container, we've added the buy box module and all the other modules that are hosted within that buy box, the media gallery, store selector, social share, etc. And then if you go into each of these container sections, you can see that it has a set of modules defined within each of these sections. So product specification has product details. We also have a spacer module that allows you to define spacing between every section. And then there is related products where you have product collection people also like. And then we have one module which is called the enrich container and has no restrictions. We have not added any modules here, so it means that you can add anything you want when you're creating your page. So this is a quick overview of the page outline. You can see how the modules have been added here. Now on the template, on the property panel, you can also see a bunch of all the properties of the module are also exposed here. Let me go to media gallery, for instance. So you can see all the media gallery properties here. You don't have to configure all the properties in the template, but you can if you want to. And it also certain properties can be configured here and locked, meaning once it's defined in the template, any page that is created off of this template will automatically get this property with that configuration. But we've just kept it open for now. You don't really have to define those restrictions unless it's absolutely needed. But I do want to draw your attention to the min occurs and max occurs. So this kind of defines how many occurrences of this module are allowed on the actual page that is built out of this template. Now, you don't have to define a minimum or a maximum, but in this case, I've defined the min occurrence as 1 because it is a product details page. And by default, I do want it to have a buy box. Like without a buy box, it doesn't make any sense to have a product details page. So it makes sense in some cases to really define the min occurrence as 1. So when you create a page, you automatically have at least one instance of the buy box, one instance of the media gallery, etc. It also helps if you're doing page customization. So when you're creating, enriching a certain page, having a min occurs of 1 will make sure your enriched page also inherits those properties automatically. So we've talked a lot about the template and the template structure. Now let's just switch back to pages. Let's examine the actual page that is created off of this template. So since I've already created this page, it's prompting me and asking me for a product that I want to preview the page with. So I've selected the shoes and black leather Oxford shoes, so it should automatically show me a preview in my WYSIWYG canvas. And now, so coming back to the page, you can see the page here. You do not see the HTML head and the some of the other slots that we saw in template. Your page is always going to start from the main slot, and show you the default page and all the content. So this is the actual section that is visible on your page. And then you can also, on the property panel, you can quickly get an overview of the template that is being used, the URL for the page, etc. Now on the header slot, as I mentioned earlier, we have the header container, which is built out as a fragment, and I will explain that in a minute. And on the main slot, we have all the modules that we discussed earlier added. And you can see buy box, since it's min occurrence of 1, it automatically appears in my page. I don't have to go click here and say add module. When I create the page, it's automatically there. And you can also see that in my page, I have configured all the different properties, defined the zoom factor, thumbnail orientation, etc. So those are some basics of creating a template and creating a page. And once you're done, you want to just say finish editing and publish. And if you're doing it for the first time, you want to make sure your URL is also published. But with that, I want to also kind of switch gears and explain a little bit about the header fragment. So fragments are reusable sections of the page. They are fully configured and they can be reused across any page or any template that you want. A great example is a header. Now, if you look at the header of a e-commerce site, the header does not necessarily change when you navigate from one page to another. So the easiest way to configure the header is to create a fragment, configure all the data for the fragment in one place, and then add it to your templates. Like you can add it to all the templates that you've created, your marketing templates, your product details page template, your category template, cart, checkout, all the templates that you have, you can add that fragment. So it is just created once. And the advantage of a fragment is if you ever make a change to a fragment, all the pages that use that fragment will automatically get the change. And in this demo, we're going to see how that's going to how that is going to happen. So I have a header fragment, and within the header fragment, you can see I have multiple modules configured. I start with a container, and then within the container, I have the cookie compliance modules that kind of shows you the cookie banner, and then a promotion banner, which is this. And then the actual header module, which also hosts a bunch of other modules within that, such as navigation menu, search, cart icons, site selector, site picker, etc. And for this demo, what I'm going to do is, if you look at my site, it has two promo banner messages. I'm going to add a third message. So let's do edit, add message. And I'm going to say winter sale, and I'm going to add a link. I'm going to say shop. And I can point the link to a custom page, a custom URL, a product, a category, anything I want. In this case, I'm just going to say winter sale men's shoes. And ARIA labels. ARIA labels are super important from an accessibility standpoint. So anytime you're defining a link, make sure you also provide a descriptive ARIA label. So I'm done. I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to finish editing. I can put in a message saying that added promo banner message, and then OK. And I'm going to publish my change. Now you'll see that I actually made the change to the fragment. I did not touch the PDP page or the PDP template, but let's go to the page and refresh the page. And the banner messages appear through are going to cycle through all the different messages. So you saw the first message, which was summer collection, the second message, which is buy two, and then the third one, winter sale. So fragments are a great way for you to define modules, pre-configured modules when you want to reuse them across your site. So with that demo, I'm going to go back and switch back to my deck. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the module library and the modules that are available in the module library. So module library, there are about 80 plus modules available in the module library. Now, these can be broadly classified based on their usage as container, marketing, header, footer, product browse, product details, etc. Really, the classification here is based on the intended usage or the pages that they're being used, etc. Just to kind of give you an overview of the different modules that we ship out of box. Now let's walk through each of these different modules that we support. Containers. Now through my demo, I mentioned containers multiple times, and I always said, oh, you always start with a container and you add your modules to a container. Now, what is a container? A container, as the name goes, it's just a module that hosts other modules inside it. But it is important in the sense that it defines the layout of the module that it contains. So for instance, if you have a container and you add two modules inside that container, you can define how these two modules should appear within that container. Should they appear side by side, in a 2-column, 3-column, 4-column view, or should they just stack one below the other, each other? All these different kind of properties are can be defined through the container module. And then the container also helps you define how the module should be laid out on the page. Should they go full bleed on the screen, or should they always maintain a gutter? So they have a lot of layout driven properties that come as part of a container. So you never want to really go add a module directly onto the page. You always want to start with a container and start adding modules into that container. And it's also a nice way to kind of create sections in your page. So, when we looked at the product details page, we saw there is a buy box container, which kind of hosts all the modules that are related to buy box. So kind of gives you that separation in terms of it's a section. And then there is a ratings and reviews section, which kind of hosts all the ratings and reviews modules. So it's kind of a neat way to kind of define how you want to lay out your page as well. And there are three container modules that we support. There is container, container with 2-column, and container with 3-column. And here is an example of a store locations page that we have in Fabricam. The page basically shows all available stores and also shows the stores in a map view. So the way this page is built out is there are actually two separate modules. There is a store selector module which appears on the left, and there is a map module that appears on the right. This is hosted within a container with 2 columns. And when you add these two modules to the container, you're also saying the width should be set to 33% and 67% for desktop view for this container. So that way, what happens is that the first module in that container automatically gets 33% width, and the second module in the container gets the 67% width. And container modules such as container with 2-column and container with 3-column, they have multiple layouts supported on a viewport by viewport basis. So if you definitely know you're going to do only 2-column or 3-column, which is fairly common, you can use these containers, and you can have different widths based on desktop, tablet, mobile, etc. And you can also achieve multi-column using the default container module. It's just that you don't have this additional capability of setting the width. They all space out equally in those containers, in the other container. So the next section we're going to talk about is the marketing module. These are modules that allow you to show promotional or marketing content. These are modules that can be configured within Site Builder. So they're kind of standalone modules. You can configure a heading, paragraph, link, images, video. All the content can be fully programmed within Site Builder, and they can be used on any page, and typically on homepage and marketing pages, but they can also be used for storytelling content on a PDP or a category page or a search page, etc. And examples of marketing modules, we have content block, text block, carousel, video player, promo banner, iframe, accordion, tab, etc. Header and footer. We talked a lot about header. So the modules that define the header and the footer of the page are part of the header and footer module classification. Header, we talked about all the different modules that are supported. We actually saw the demo. Typically, as I mentioned earlier, both header and footer are configured as a page fragment. And here are the list of modules that are supported on the header and footer. You have header, navigation menu, search, site selector, notifications, mini cart, and the footer as footer category, and footer category items. So basically, footer is a bunch of links, and then you can define these categories, and each of those categories can have links within them. And there are also images supported here. So if you want to achieve something like follow us and you want to put an icon to a social media platform, you can do that through the footer module. I've also called out breadcrumb. Breadcrumb can be part of your header, or it can be actually part of the main body in your page. But breadcrumb also allows you to do that secondary site navigation and can be part of your header if you want to. So now that we talked about marketing pages and how do you containers, the next most important piece is how do you actually browse a set of products. So there are two main modules that we support for browsing. The first one is the search results module. Search results module is used on list pages. So any result from a search, any result from a search or a category browsing will appear on the list page, and it will be powered by the search results module. And the search result module also includes refiners, so you can further refine your results and find the product that you want. Another module that we also support for showcasing a list of products is product collection. Now, product collection typically displays a list of products, and it's powered by a data source. And the data source can be a recommendation list, a curated list, or any list that we support in commerce is powered by the product collection module. And product collection can be used on any page, like on your home page, you can have trending, picks for you, best selling. On your PDP, you can have people also like, related, similar, etc. And here are some examples. So here is a search results module, which is showing search results for dress. And then we have product collection module that is showing the picks for you list that is supported by commerce. The next is product details page. We actually walked through the product details page in our demo. So all the modules that are allowed on a product details page, you have a buy box, which is the most important module where all the product information, price, and the add to bag actions are supported. Other modules such as media gallery, social share, store selector, text block are also supported on the buy box. Buy box allows you to add to bag for shipping, or you can also do the pickup in store using the store selector module. And buy box also leverages several site settings such as order quantity, inventory, add to cart, etc. And here are all the different modules that we just talked about. I think I mentioned most of them, but we also have reviews, ratings, histogram, write a review. In addition to these modules, any marketing module can also be used on a product details page. Product collection module can also be used on a product details page. It's not unique to a PDP, so it can be used here. But these are the most important. These are the modules that are kind of tied to a PDP by default. The next is find in store. So this in today's time, buy online, pick up in store is super important, and you can achieve this using the store selector module. The store selector module serves two purposes. In a standalone mode, it can just show you the list of stores that are associated with your online channel. And then when it's associated in context of a product, it can show you here are all the stores, here are the pickup options that are available in the store, and it actually allows you to add a product to bag with a pickup option. We also have provide integration with a map, which is powered by Bing Maps. And the find in store modules can be used in buy box, cart, header, and they can also be standalone, like in a store locations page. Now, the entire buy online, pick up in store, this experience is deeply integrated with the Bing Maps REST APIs. We use the geocoding API, auto suggest API. We use the Bing Maps V8 control for the Maps module. Now, to enable this feature, you need to make sure that in commerce, in headquarters, commerce parameters, your Bing Maps feature is enabled, and you also need to provide a Bing Maps API key for the feature to work end to end. And here are some examples. You can see the store location page. You can also see the buy now, pick up in a store where you're looking for a product, and it tells you that it's found in we found 4 stores within 50 miles of you, and allows you to pick up from that particular store. And there's also a checkout pickup information module, which is used in checkout. This module allows you to enter any pickup related information that is required for picking up your order. For example, time slots. If your order needs to be picked up within a certain time slot and the San Francisco store supports those time slots, then that information can be captured using the checkout pickup information module. Shopping bag. Shopping bag displays items added to shopping bag by the user. There are two main shopping bag modules. One is the cart and then the other is a mini cart. Again, as the name goes, mini cart is like a minimalistic version of the cart with minimal operations, kind of used mainly to give you a summary of what is available in the cart. And the cart basically displays all your cart line items. It also allows you to apply codes. It has a bunch of additional features, such as you can add a store selector module to your cart, and you can choose between shipping and pickup in store. You can add to wish list. You can remove an item from a cart. You can change quantity. All the stuff that is supported by a typical shopping bag will be available through the cart module. And similar to Buy Box, Cart also leverages several site settings such as order quantity, inventory, etc. So here's an example of cart and mini cart. And as you can see, mini cart is a quick summary of your items in shopping bag. And the summary appears when you hover over the cart icon or the shopping bag icon on your header. Cart, on the other hand, is your full detailed view of your items in shopping bag. And you can see items are grouped by the mode of delivery. You can change a store. You can change the mode of pickup. You can change your quantity. Your cart also allows you to enter any coupon codes that are available that can be applied to your order. And then the next section is checkout modules. Checkout modules allow user to check out and place an order. So as part of checkout, there is a ton of information that we need to collect. This could be all the way from shipping related information, pickup information, contact info, payment, etc. So each of these are broken down into separate modules. But I also wanted to call out that in the case of checkout, header, buy box, we've seen examples where there is one module called checkout or buy box, and then within that module there are several other smaller modules that we are adding to it. And the reason for doing that is some of these modules could be reused in other pages. For example, store selector is used on the buy box as well as on the cart. Another reason is we want to make sure our modules are not so heavy on business logic that if you want to make a small change as a customization to meet your customer requirements, you don't have to completely customize the entire module. You can just customize smaller sections and pieces of that module. So you're kind of given it some kind of granularity, logical granularity, so it is easier to do customizations and also allows you to reuse these modules across the site. Now, payment module, let me show you some screenshots first. So here are all the different checkout modules that are available. So you can see shipping address, delivery options, pickup information, payment, gift card balance check, loyalty, terms and conditions, contact, order confirmation. All these modules are available as part of checkout. I kind of want to draw your attention to the payment section here. So within payment, you can see that we have out of box, we have support for loyalty, Dynamics 365 Commerce loyalty, and then we have gift card support, both internal and external gift cards such as SVS and GiveX. So if you want to redeem a gift card, you can provide a gift card PIN expiration date. There is also a gift card balance check module. So if you want to use a balance check module on a marketing page or in a gift card PDP, you can certainly do that. And the credit, the payment is also, we also support payment through RDN payment connector. And we also recently added support for PayPal through PayPal payment connector. So these are the different payment options that are available. And all the different modules that are available for checkout. And the next piece that we're going to talk about is sign up. Now, if you have an e-commerce site, you can do a guest checkout, or you can sign in as a user, and you can do a signed in experience where, once you're signed in, you can shop across devices seamlessly. You can shop in your mobile device, go to your desktop device, log in and place the order. So certainly we do support that. And it requires the AAD B2C tenant to be set up. And there was another session covering the B2C setup, and I recommend that you take a look at the resources posted in the end of this deck for more information. There are 4 modules that we support for sign-in, sign-up experience: sign-in, sign-up, password reset, and password reset verification. In addition to signing up for an account, we also allow you to sign up for loyalty rewards, and this is done using the loyalty sign-up module. Account management. So once you have an account, you want to go into your account and you want to be able to manage your user information as well as the order related information. So this can be achieved using the account management modules. So account management is a series of pages. You have the account management homepage, which is like your entry point to all these different pages, and each experience is powered as a separate page. You can see that you have a welcome Karen kind of a home page that gives you a quick summary of order history, wish list, loyalty, my profile, addresses, etc. And then each of these styles, which are configured using these style modules defined here, have a link to the individual pages. So order history will take you to your order history page, and then order history page can navigate. You can navigate to order details. Wish list can take you to your wish list page. And you'll see a list of modules that we also support in account management to power each of these pages. And the other section that I want to quickly touch base on was the HTML head modules. I think we talked about it during our during the demo. So these are modules that are used in the HTML head of the page. So there are different modules available here. So there are modules available for SEO optimization. So that's the page summary, category page summary, product page summary, etc. So adding these modules to your HTML head ensures that your search engine is optimized, your pages are optimized for SEO. And then there are meta tags module. One of the things you can do with this module is you can set like an icon for your pages. Then we have script injection modules such as inline script and external scripts. If you want any scripts to be injected in your page, you can go through your script injection, use your script injection module for that purpose. So with that, we are coming to the conclusion of all the different modules in the module library. I'd like to pause here and see if there are any unanswered questions that Sam, you would like me to take at this point.
Anu, we do not have any unanswered questions at the moment, so you can keep going.
Okay, so that's the end of the demo. If there is anything else that people would like me to demo or showcase, I can certainly take some time, but if not, I hand this back to Evan.
All righty, perfect, Anu. We would like to get your feedback on today's session. I've posted a link to a short survey in the Q&A panel. We value your feedback and welcome your input on how we did today and what you would like to see in future sessions. That survey scores on a scale from 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest score possible, and we thank you for your participation in that. As a reminder, the recording of today's session will be available on the Tech Talks Community Dynamics page within 5 business days. I'd like to extend a big thank you to our presenter and a thank you to our audience for logging in and joining us today. Please stay safe and have a great rest of your day or evening wherever you are. Goodbye.